is it ready? A little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact.
Look at the back of...
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello race fans and welcome here to this week's edition here of V8's Online. I'm JD Smith. Alongside me today will be Kane Kraft, and I want to go ahead and say we're presented in glorious HD, and we're going to be brought to you tonight, of course, by our great friends V8 Supercar Fan Group, V8's Online Superstore, and Direct Clutch Services. And we got a good friend with us here as we're heading to Brands Hatch and getting ready for the week of events, getting ready to start. And we got Marlon McMullen's going to be able to run a lap with us and do a little bit of talking with us in the pre-race show. Kane, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm excited. This is going to be a pretty good race from what I hear. A lot of drivers are excited about this race, and it's going to be a pit stop race. I love pit stop races. It just gives that little bit of extra excitement to the race, and I like Brands Hatch in general. It's just a fun track to drive, so I'm excited for this race. It's been an exciting start to the season, and I'm excited to continue on.
Yeah, here it is, week 2. We had an outstanding first week to open our 2014 season with, and it was just an unbelievable week. I've been waiting, and it's finally here. Week 2 is among us, and can't wait to get things started. So we got a big pre-race show ahead. So I'll go ahead and turn things over to Kane and get things looking over at Marlon. Marlon, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great, and it's so good to have you here on the show, and gonna get a little lesson here from you today. Always a pleasure to show us a lap around a great track like Brands Hatch.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see how good this lap can be.
And as Marlon gets around here, we'll let him take over as he gets ready to start a new lap.
Thank you, guys. Alright, so as we come onto Bradman Straight, try to keep the power nice and easy on the throttle. Into turn 1, easily back into 4th. Get the nose pointed in nice and early. Try to avoid clipping the curb. Ease on the throttle early out of there. Depending what ratio, and you may click up to 5th. Back to 2nd for the hairpin. Ease on the throttle. You don't want to excite the rears here because it's all about keeping the rears checked here. Nice and easy, feather it in on 3rd gear on the nose. Use as much of the Astro as you can on the outside, up to 4th. Try to stay in 3rd for this corner, but sometimes when the fronts go, I'm going to go back to 2nd. Easy on the power out of the corner, as the straight's going to be very crucial today, seeing some passing attempts. As we come down the back straight, we try to hit back into 4th gear. Want to make sure that you don't get any understeer, keep it nice and tight, power on ease out of the corner. Back into 3rd, try and clip as much on the inside as you can. Easy on the exit, a little bit of oversteer. This corner tends to have a little bit of understeer, so you want to brake a little bit early. Back into 3rd, over the curb. Short shift up to 4th, back into 3rd. Tuck it nice and early back into the curb. Easy on the throttle on the way out. As we come back into the last corner, same again, point that nose nice and early on the curb. Ease on the throttle on the exit. Try to keep the car as straight as possible into the front straight. And that's a lap of Brands Hatch, guys.
Oh, outstanding, Marlon, and that's how you do it. What an intense track. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what it entails for these drivers as far as the mental focus they'll need here today. And just to stay, it seems like the car's really busy here. The driver's got to be doing a lot of movement in the car. He won't be sitting still. He'll be breaking a sweat today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these guys are going to have to rough it out for 38 laps. Probably one of the most mentally demanding tracks that we do on the calendar. And as we saw last season, just keeping on the track for the whole race is a challenge of itself. So rear tyres have always been a little bit of an issue around here. So as I said, I want to keep them checked. But passing's probably one of the most crucial things that you're going to see tonight. So throwing in the pit stop's going to definitely spice up the action.
It's going to be real nice now on a full fuel tank here, Marlon. How long do you think these guys will be able to hold out before we'll see some pit stops, or the latest that we can see somebody hit the pits today?
Probably the earliest that we should see guys, and it's probably around the lap 15 mark, depending on how the fuel burn is. Some guys may be putting in about 30 litres, maybe 37. Also, another thing to take into consideration today is the gear ratio. Some guys may be running the 350 box, some may be running the 37. So maybe the latest that we'll see the guys in for the late stoppers, probably about the mid-20s.
Outstanding, buddy, and always fun to talk to you, Marlon. Really happy to get the inside information from the drivers. You know, you guys know it better than us, and it's just unbelievable when you really get to find out what all it entails to get around here with the best of the best in the America Series. That's incredible. So thanks a lot, buddy. Kane, you got anything to throw out here, buddy?
No, I think you guys about covered it. That was about about most of the information I can think of that we would need to know about Brands Hatch. It's that's all I can think of. I've been trying to think of anything else I could add to the discussion, but man, you guys about got it all.
Yeah, it's going to be real exciting here today. We got a lot of things to look forward to here at Brands Hatch, and can't wait to see how the action is going to go. Before we move on to this week, though, and start a live race, I guess it's time to take our eyes and look a little bit about last week, kind of do a little bit and see where we're at up to this point.
Yeah, we can definitely take a look back before we go forward here, and go back to last week. We were at Mosport, and let's see, the start of the race, it was fantastic. If we go back to the beginning there, we had the three drivers, Chad Chastain, Bo Cattell, and John Emerson just drove off at the start, and the three of those guys had an excellent race.
It really was, Kane. That was a phenomenal start, and it really was let's just put it this way, Mosport, I hope we get to see it on our official schedule a little more often. It was truly impressive. I was very impressed, to say the least, with all the drivers, but definitely at the front we had a heck of a show between Bo Cattell, Chad Chastain, and those guys up there. It was unbelievable, and just can't wait to I'll let Kane continue on about how the race continued on, but man, if you missed it, you really need to go back and take a peek at that race and then move on to this one. But yeah, Kane, go right ahead and finish up, buddy. Get excited there.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. These three just started that race, and all three of them just bumper to bumper for clear until pit stops. It was definitely an excellent start to what proved to be an excellent race. The whole race was exciting. After pit stops, as the leaders were catching back up, I remember though we didn't have a whole lot of accidents during the race, but there was only a couple that stuck out, and one of them was after pit stops. The leaders were starting to catch up to some lap traffic, and Tony Klusterman went to give a little bit of room to the guys, and as he did, he just touched the tire off, and it really pulled him the rest of the way off, and he ended up getting into the wall, and he hit the wall really hard, and that's one of few accidents that happened at Mosport.
It was a really hard hit too, and good thing when we brought up the race recall replay at the time. But that was a really hard hit for Tony, and a hard hit in the race mentally, because it really hurt his race there. And we know Tony Klusterman. We've seen him fight up there with the best of them, a member of the Never Quit Racing team, and you guys just seen it on your screen there. Kind of a funny way to leave the track there, but a vicious way to leave as well. Crucial damage to the car, and definitely hurt the opening week there for Tony. We know that it'll be fun to see how Tony Klusterman can bounce back after that rough start to his season.
Now, the points champion also got involved in a little incident in that one at the beginning. Are you still with us, Marlon?
Yes, I am, mate.
Tell us a little bit about what happened last week at the beginning of your race. I know you were involved in an accident there.
Yeah, it wasn't really the most sensational way to back up a really good campaign last season, but I had a poor qualifying, didn't really have the confidence and the pace going in, so qualified about 10th. Not usually where I'm used to starting that far back, but yeah, so I tried to evolve from that, made a few positions at the start, and had an awesome battle with Sanjin, and had a bit more race pace than me, so I thought I'd let him go. And after I let him go, we went into the left-hander down the hill just before Moss. And there's a curve there that you sort of want to tend to avoid because it sort of scrubs the car and throws it into a bit of a menace to try and control and steer out of. And yeah, Sanjin just broke a little bit earlier, and I freaked out and clipped the curb. And yeah, once I put it back in the second gear, I was a passenger from there on, and just fortunately hit the big curb at Moss and 4 wheels up in the air. As you're a passenger, you can't really do much in the air, and landed on someone's bonnet, and then popped it back onto the ground, popped it back in the first gear, tried to get away, and fortunately when some people see that one person's suffering, they all try and get around them, and it's like a pack of angry dogs, really. It's crazy. And then someone tapped me in the rear right wheel and just broke the suspension, and on the way out of the corner, unfortunately there's not much I could do. The car just looped around, and I don't know who I took out with me, but I felt terrible after it.
Yeah, it's definitely rough there, Marlon. I know that you hated that to happen, but definitely, I know that's kind of a freak accident there, and stuff like that happens. That's part of racing. Unfortunately, it is not what everybody wants to do. It's what everybody tries to avoid. But every now and again, I don't care who you are, you can't avoid it always. So, it happens to the best of them, and we'll move on from there, buddy. But thanks for telling us all about that. Right there, that was a tough event.
Yeah,
tough way
unfortunately, that
to
was
back
one
up.
we didn't get on video. We must have been focusing at the front of the race or something, because they had a real close battle going up there. But for some reason, we missed that one. But the next accident, Marty Carroll. Now that one was one that one hurt, because I was really hoping for Marty to do well. So let's take a look at Marty's little incident that he had there with about 10 to go.
Smoking something terrible in pit road. I want to go back and see if we can find out what happened to Marty. It is terrible how bad he is smoking. That engine may be blown.
See if I can go back a little bit and see if I can find what happened to Marty on the race recall replay.
It happened right at the end of lap number 29 for Marty, coming towards the start-finish line. Oh. Wait, and when you see it, you'll just understand.
Alright, here we go. As it comes around the corner,
as the race recall gets
catches
going.
the curb. It throws him into the wall, spun him around, and it just trashed his car. That was a tough one to watch.
And it happened in a tough spot too, on the track. He's really lucky that didn't become a pile up, and thankfully he was able to get the car back into the pits with a little tow help. But a tough break for Marty, and Marty, we'll see him bounce back this week and see if he can get back up front and race up there for another top 5, maybe a possible win here at Brands Hatch. I know teammate Nigel Baines' home track is at Brands Hatch, so we'll be looking for that team to be real strong here. The team SDC Motorsports will be fighting to get near the front.
Yeah, that one was a tough one. And then, of course, really, that was all of the action, aside from a little bit more racing action. But managed to stay out ultimately ahead of the end of the race came, and John Emerson did have a little stint there where he got out to a pretty good lead and was doing a great job. But John had pulled away quite a bit, and ultimately went on to victory ahead of Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell. So let's take a look at the last little bit of this
Yeah,
lap
and
here.
with that, he's fighting everything he can to try to get up to John Emerson. He's just run out of time. He's running identical times to John Emerson, so he can't gain anything, Kane. He's just right there at the same gap, 1.5 mark he's been at for the past 10 laps. And it looks like right now we're going to have to throw out our congratulations the last few turns. Let's make sure. Oh, man, big curve there for John Emerson there. And the final turn at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Congratulations to the very first winner of the 2014 season. The Good Time Ford Falcon driver, John Emerson, will win the race 1 here at Mosport. Congratulations, John Emerson. Second place, Chad Chastain. Let's jump back real quick to Michael Burnett and Michael Yo to see who can win this battle to the finish.
Looks like Michael Burnett's pulled away just a little bit and put just a little bit of a gap between he and Michael Yo.
Yeah, I wonder if Michael got it just a little bit too aggressive in one of the turns trying to make the pass. But you know what? It still could happen, Kane. They still got a little bit of lap left. And it's
You're right, Kane. And I tell you what, I've been really impressed with Michael Yo here of late. We saw him in the Race of Champions in the rough. Really was a big surprise in that race. A lot of people weren't expecting him to do as well as he was. He was a big threat to a humongous field. And then in the V8's America Series, this guy has come out of nowhere, and he is battling for top 10s week in and week out and racing with some really good drivers. So it was really fun to watch these two battle it out, and boy, they did, and it was just truly fun to watch.
Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports Ford, Bo Cattell.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's a really fun race there at Mosport. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park was a huge success to open up our season. And like Kane said, that about wraps up the action from last week. So now we get to look a little forward. We're not far from race time, folks. And so let's talk a little bit about Brands Hatch and where we're at now. It is week number 2. And, you know, week 1 is in the books, Kane. And it sure was it was a blast. I mean, I had a great time. But now the excitement's built up, and I'm ready to get Brands Hatch underway.
Yeah, in Kent, the United Kingdom, Brands Hatch, 430-foot altitude, 45-mile-an-hour pit lane speed, 9 turns, 2.41 miles.
Man, real exciting, that Brands Hatch. Like I said, it's couple of the drivers, a few home tracks for some. It has special meaning for a lot of the guys from the UK, and it deserves so. It's a legendary track for lots of reasons. There's been some old Formula One races there that were big time. A lot of famous drivers have been on this track, so it's a really great design, and it's you heard it from Marlon McMullen, our defending champion. He said it best. It is one of the most mentally challenging tracks that we'll visit on the season all year long. So it'll be super fun to see how this race turns out, and it's ever important. It's week 2, guys. Season 1's in the books. The points table is starting to get set. And for those that have kind of fallen back in week 1, we have some names that are really far down, big, huge names. And of course, there's still plenty of time to move in the season, but it's week 2, and a lot of the guys don't want to get in a rut. And sometimes when you come into that second race and you have a repeat of a bad week, you start to get in a rut, and we want to see who can avoid that here today and start moving up towards the front. And that's going to be fun to see who's going to be able to rebound off of last week and who's going to, repeat, have another bad week. And like I said, it's still, it's not elimination time yet, but it's, it's still, you want to get a good start to the season and get a jump on everybody. Kind of build a little cushion, Kane.
Yeah, let's take a look at the championship before we get on into the server to get the race started. We got John Emerson at the top and Chad Chastain in second with Bo Cattell in third. This is going to be a close one. The championship leader has missed the first race so far. Well, he didn't miss it, but he had a bad week in the first race, and so he's getting off to a pretty rough start. But there are a few drop weeks this season, so that's definitely way too soon to be telling for sure how the season's going to go. But one thing's for sure that we know: John Emerson is off to a great start, as well as Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell.
Yeah, that top three, Kane, is extremely deadly. And we talk about favorites. We talked about some of the favorites to win the championship this season. Of course, we talked about Marlon McMullen defending his title and has a really good shot to do that. And but he's got some tough competition. Some guys really trying to come after that championship this year. And those top three are extremely dangerous. So going to be really fun to see how those points change after the event day and moving into the third week. So that's going to be real fun. Keep your eye on that, guys, as we get ready to head over and see some images shortly and see how the official greeting will be. That's always exciting to see how qualifying went for the event. It's a big, big plus. And you heard it from Marlon earlier, Kane. Qualifying is going to be absolutely huge for this place. It's one of the toughest tracks to make passes on. Passing's not going to come with ease today, so if you can already start near the front, that's a huge, huge help. And so that, that's going to be really, really big critical. It's going to actually be one of my keys to the races today is qualifying. I never do that because I believe a race is won on the track during the race, but I believe a big part of that is going to be qualifying. I just have a feeling it's going to be huge this week.
Yeah, I agree. The track position at Brands Hatch is so important. Kind of
sentence. Hope everything is all right, but I believe what Kane was trying to say was, it's a good point. Another good thing about the race today is, or let me see if you're back, Kane. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, there we go. For some reason, I had you cut out on my end, but everything seems to be good. Go ahead and finish what you were saying, buddy.
Just that track position is so important. It's a narrow track, and passing opportunities are few and far between, and so track position is so vital. So we'll probably see some gains made in the pits as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the pits will be a huge part of it as well. Kane, I believe your mic is cutting in and out a little bit, buddy. I just wanted to let you know there. And while we're talking about keys to the race, I'm going to go back to Marlon one more time and ask him. You've heard what pretty much I think my key to the race is going to be critical starting position. Kane says the pit stops are going to be really crucial as well as track position. What do you think is going to be one of the keys to somebody finding a victory here in week 2?
I think, honestly, everything's just keeping on the track. I mean, as I said before, it's pretty mentally draining. 38 laps, you don't want to make any mistake, because if you make a mistake, it's really easy to find the wall here, unfortunately. Grass and then straight into an Armco. So, yeah, keeping on the track's going to be one of the specialty for the drivers tonight. But other than that, the pit stop's really going to have to shake up a few things, because one thing I've said to the boys in the power team is when you come out of the pit lane and you're in the front straight, if there's a car coming out of the pits and you see it, it's on the race line, it's enough to unsettle you and make you run off turn 1. So see if that catches a few guys out.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely. That's a really good point, Marlon. This is a long race. One thing I love about the schedule, the official schedule, is a little bit longer. Each races they've increased some of the distances that we normally see in this series, and I think it's going to be huge. We've already noticed that the talent level in the series is shooting up with popularity, and with that comes bigger and badder drivers, and I mean that in a good way. And the competition's going to be tough. It's mentally straining going around here. Most time you see a race here, it's going to be around 25 laps, and we're over 30 here today. Watch for that to be huge in the race today. We should be getting some pictures here real soon, I think. And we do, I believe. And let's go ahead and look at some of the things as soon as we get a chance. Kane, just checking back with you, buddy, to make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, we are good to go. We're live and in the server. I just wanted to go to the weather real quick. 69 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temperature is 96 degrees Fahrenheit. So at least it's a nice day today in Brands Hatch, and 51% humidity, a little bit of wind today, and 2200 strength.
Yeah, weather's a huge deal. If it really makes a difference with the weather in these cars. They actually are huge. And I'm going to go ahead and read off the grid. And we're going to have Chad Chastain on the pole. Huge results there. Bo Cattell on second. Third's going to be Sam Collins with Nigel Baines in fourth. Mark Anderson's going to be in the fifth position with six belonging to Michael Fulcher. Sanjay Lilac will start in seventh with Michael Schreier in eighth. Marty Carroll in the ninth position with Dale Nish in 10th. Dave Oliver in the 11th position with Michael Yo starting in 12th. 13's going to go to Jason Scandarola. And then we have Graham Bones starting in 14th with Tony Klusterman cleaning up our 15 car field. And Kane, I'm going to turn it over to you as the cars get ready to start the event. A few moments left and the lights will be on, the engines will be up, and the cars will be off for race number 2, buddy.
Yeah, we are getting ready to go live. So, it's green. We're off.
And keep an eye on this huge first turn. Already some small contact on the rear end of Sanjay Delilac's car. One of the Kamikaze cars slightly got into him. So far, so good. I'll tell you what, right now, looking at Nigel Baines, he's as Marty Carroll. I mean, not Marty Carroll, as a Kamikaze driver. And, Sanjay Delilac right there. They were pulling it outside to side. Nigel did get the advantage and pulled ahead. Currently still in fourth position. Side-by-side racing as well in the Kamikaze car, as we see in front of Dale Nish. We have a battle real close with Michael Yo and Michael Fulcher. Both Michaels right there. Really close. Fall into place. That was a scary moment. We got a long race, boys. We don't want to get too aggressive just yet.
Yeah, so far everybody's just following a single file line, kind of as I expected them to do. And it's from here on we're going to see passing be kind of a difficult thing.
Guys will try to start saving them now and try to be a little bit crucial later if some of them are saving fuel. Now, some of the guys probably put a lower amount of fuel in the car to start this thing out, knowing that they have an early pit strategy. And that's a good idea. Now, I like the idea of just playing it by ear, playing on about a mid-pack or a mid of the race pit stop, because I always like to keep the car, just in case something happens, you can get in there and get it repaired as well. You don't want to have to make 2 pit stops to fix a broken car. So that's position. He's coming up, doing well. Back and forth is the SDC Motorsport of Nigel Baines. Sanjay Delilac right there rounding out the top 5 in a close battle for 5th. Back in 6th is Mark Anderson with Marty Carroll coming up in 7th. Michael Schreier currently in the 8th position, and a good now Carroll. And Michael Fulcher is back in 10th, and Michael Yo is now in 10th. Pardon me, we got a pass going right now. Good move by Michael Yo, and passing Sanjay Delilac right there. And that was crucial, as it has Dale Nish in 12th, but they're shuffling as I'm talking. We got some great battles on the track right now.
Keep doing some radio commentary there. I'm trying to get some images back. We lost all visual, so you'll have to do some radio commentary for us.
All right, that's no problem, buddy. I will keep things going live. Tell you what, out in near the front in the 7th position, Marty Carroll has his hands full right now, as Michael Schreier currently on his tail. And in front of Marty Carroll, he's trying to catch up to Michael Schreier. And I tell you what, man, Michael Schreier jumped and made this race exciting and changed it up. He's got the new paint scheme on. It looks really good. And all the cars are currently about at a car and a half length apart, except for up near the front. Chad Chastain is still in the lead. Guys are currently ending lap 3, about to start lap 4. Bo Cattell still closely in second place. He is only half a second behind our leader. Back in third is Sam Collins. He is about almost 3 seconds behind. And then we have Nigel Baines closely closing in on Sam Collins. And behind is Sanjin Delilac, who's about a car length behind Nigel. That's how the top end of the field is running right now. We got a great battle between Nigel Baines and Sanjin Delilac for position right now. And the good thing is neither driver seeming over-aggressive. Both very smooth laps right now. Got a really good race pace and actually trying to close in on the car that's in front of both of them, and that's Sam Collins. So we'll be having a battle up for a podium spot here shortly, as it's only lap 4 at Brands Hatch. I'm JD Smith one more time, and got Kane Kraft with me, and we'll have some pictures back up in just a moment, as the wonderful iRacing loves to disappear our pictures sometimes, but we'll get them back up soon, guys. In the meantime, looking back at another great battle that we have going on, Marty Carroll trying to hold off Dave Oliver, and back in the 10th position. Dave Oliver, he did get Marty Carroll. That'll push Marty. What a pass made by the Cosmo Energy car of Dave Oliver. In the meantime, we also saw Sanjin Delilac fall back a few places, and he is back. It has him in 11th right now. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. That's his teammate. I apologize. Sanjin Delilac's teammate Dale Niche is back in 11th. But he did fall a position there, and he's trying to catch up to the Kamikaze car of Michael Fulcher in the number 10, currently in the 10th spot. So we just got a great three-way battle here for the 8th position, as Dave Oliver tries to hold off the hard-pushing Marty Carroll.
We do have video back, and I'm back as well.
Fantastic news. And I'll tell you what I was just talking about. Marty Carroll trying to catch Dave Oliver in the Cosmo Lighting Ford Falcon, and Dave Oliver just doing a fantastic job. He put a really good move to make a pass on Marty Carroll. It was very clean, and Marty's got his hands full trying to catch him back. He's still close, but he's got this is a four-way battle here, as we have behind Dave Oliver, of course, Marty, and then Michael Fulcher and Dale Niche. This four-way battle all the way for up to 8th place. Really good. Up in another battle we have a little bit further up, the 6th place car of Mark Anderson is catching up to Sanjin Delilac, and those two cars are closing in, trying to look ahead to Nigel Baines. And this could be a really good race, as Nigel Baines is almost caught up to Sam Collins. So all these close spots, I know that they're a little bit far away, about a second in, but not even a second in between each one yet. And they're still close, so about 3 car lengths between the 3rd and 4th position of Sam Collins and Nigel Baines. But after that, they're within a car length of each other. And I'm telling you what, this could change really quick. And if they continue to ride it this big, how big will the pit stops be in this race? We're talking about a track that is extremely hard to pass on, and all of a sudden you're going to be able to have guys that can make up 2 or 3 seconds time in the pits. That is going to be humongous. So pit strategy here is going to be optimum to these lap times. It's going to be unreal how close this race will be with these pits.
Yeah, we knew coming into this that pit stops were going to be pretty big deal, but I'm actually surprised to see how difficult these guys are really having getting passes done here. So I think pit stops are really, we're going to see a lot of people try some pretty serious strategy maneuvers here in the pits to try to gain a spot or two.
Yeah, absolutely, Kane. I'm looking around the track right now. Michael Yo in the Finn car, Ford Falcon, looking good right now. We've seen Michael Yo do some really good things in the past few weeks, but he's back in 13th place right now. I'll see if he can climb up a little bit closer to the front. Looking at a few of the other cars. Chad Chastain is still out in the lead with Bo Cattell in second. Back in third, Sam Collins with Nigel Baines battling really hard back and forth. He's still got Sanjay Delilac, who's rounding out our top 5. And on his tail is Mark Anderson back in sixth in the Kamikaze Ford Falcon. So many other good battles as well. Back in seventh is Michael Schreier in the Darrell Lee Ford Falcon. Back in eighth in the Cosmo Lighting Machine, it is Dave Oliver with Marty Carroll in the SDC Ford Falcon. Michael Fulcher back, he's another Kamikaze driver, currently rounding out the top 10 with Dale Niche in the Volvo Attitude car. He is 11th. 12th is going to go to Jason Scandolera, and he is in the Packaging and More Ford. And that's a cool looking car as well. Like that paint a lot. He's in 12th. Michael Yo in 13th. I mentioned just a little earlier. Graham Bones filling in the high power racing Ford. He's back in 14th. And the Never Quit Racing machine of Tony Klusterman back in 15th. That's how they run currently right now. The leader is on lap number 8 in the Can-Am Ford Falcon. And he's still looking really good right now. Bo Cattell about a little over a second behind him right now, Kane, and we got us a race.
Yeah, Bo Cattell's definitely catching up to Chad, so we should see a race here before long for that first position. I'm really glad to see Bo Cattell come and race here in the Americas Series. He's definitely been a great addition to the series. He and John Emerson, who's missing tonight, they've definitely brought a little extra something to the series, and it's been exciting having them. I like to see new faces to the series, and I know they're not new faces to the V8, but they are new to the series, and I do like to see that.
It is nice having them here on board. It's definitely a threat to the rest of the field as they fight for points and position right now. Scary moment there for Sam Collins, as I thought he was going to get, if he would have got a few more millimeters off the track, the car might have got loose on him bad. And he seems like he's still a little loose. He's all right though, still holding the third position down, but that's going to allow Nigel Baines and Sanjay Delilac both to try to creep up a little bit, as this is about to be a true three-way battle for third place, and I can't wait for it. Nigel Baines has been running some seriously good races lately, as well as Sam Collins. Sammy Collins really looked good last week, and he's doing it again this week.
Sam Collins is always looking good. I mean, he's a good, smooth driver. He's a very smart driver, very technical, and he's always just running a good, clean race.
Yeah, he really is, and it shows right now. Boy, man, that Sanjay Delilac has been doing well. He looks really good too, and he is really putting the pressure on Nigel Baines still. From the race start, Kane, he has not let up, and he is looking for any opportunity he can to make that pass. In fact, I think we should go on board with Sanjay Delilac right now, Kane, and just get a little on board look there for a second. And if we get on board with Sanjay Delilac, we look ahead at Nigel Baines and look at the undulation of the track here. It's not a flat surface. It goes up and down. Look at them go over the curb real nicely, and really tough. You see how hard it is to get a pass here, because you just have to get too far off the race line. You get a good view at how narrow the track is at Brands Hatch compared to some of the other circuits we visit throughout the year. And you see, while we said really hard, ooh, you saw ahead there, Sammy Collins looked to got a little sideways for a second, but he's just fine. Nigel's actually gaining a little bit of small time ahead of Sanjay right now, but that is a little nice onboard look. You see him start a new lap just a second ago. Here he is going up the hill, and thanks for going on board with us there, buddy. Man, what a great race so far. Everybody has been super clean, and we have got a really good race on our hands, Kane.
Yeah, it has been a good race. It's nice close race, and I definitely love these races that it stays good and close. That battle back there with Sam Collins, Nigel Baines, and Sanjin Dalalik, it's going to play out to be a really good battle toward the end of this race.
Yeah, that's going to go all the way down to the end, and we're going to have to go back to what Marlon McMullen was talking with us about pre-race, and remember some of the things he was telling us about this race. It really is going to be very crucial to the mental focus of the drivers. Keep in mind, each one of these laps takes a toll on these drivers. We're on lap 10, and so we're almost 1/3 of the way complete, but still a lot of racing left. And these drivers, I'm sure, are just now starting to get in the comfort zone. And the problem is if you get in the comfort zone and oh man, we've seen flawless driving from every driver so far. Nobody has really had any problems yet. In fact, only 30 seconds separates the entire 15-car field, and that's not a lot when you consider some of these races we've at least had some kind of spin out just because of the aggressive racing. Tonight they are doing a really good job as a whole. Tell you what, Tony Klusterman has moved out of the 15th spot and up into position 14 and past Michael Yo. His next target is going to be Graham Filland up in 13th. The HPR car, I just noticed on its right side, has a tiny bit of damage there. Looks like somebody might have got into the side of him a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to be any speed causing damage. He should be fine. His lap times don't seem to suffer. And guess who Marty Carroll is trying to catch back up to Dave Oliver. He kind of slipped back a hair. And I know one thing about Marty Carroll is he likes to save his tires. And that may be what we're seeing with Marty Carroll right now is he may be doing a little tire saving. He's still in the same position, but I don't see him fighting quite as hard with Dave Oliver as he was earlier in the race. And I think that may be a part of his strategy. And we may be seeing the same thing out of Michael Fulcher as he has kind of slipped back off of Marty a little bit. And these guys kind of get in a groove, Kane, when they get in the race like this. That's a long race. You get into a rhythm, and once you find that rhythm, if you can get into a comfort zone, and these races can be draining. So if you can get into a nice rhythm, it takes some of that mental strain off of you for a few laps. Even if you can knock it from about 32 laps down to 20 laps of strenuous racing, then that's huge.
Yeah, and this race in particular can be extra draining just because it's so difficult to pass. It can get your stress level up or your aggravation level because of the struggles to get around other cars. So that can definitely play into it as well. And that may be why we're seeing a lower car count this week. Because of the drop, I think we see a few drivers that have opted to not show up at Brands Hatch this week and watch it instead and use their other weeks to try to make up for it.
Yeah, I agree. There was 2 full splits of 15 drivers when I joined in, so that is 30 cars on the track for the V8's America Series, but at 15 in the top split. And right now, Nigel Baines is almost caught up to Sammy Collins again. We could have the battle for third begin real soon. Also, Sanjin Dalalik right there as well, Kane. We know how these two can really battle one another. Just a great field right now.
Yeah, I think this is where the battle is going to be to watch, is between these three here, the Sanjin and Nigel Baines and Dave Oliver battle. I think, or Sam Collins rather. I think that's definitely where the main battle of the race will be.
Yeah, watching it right now, and look how smooth all 3 drivers are. It's like they're linked together. They're keeping about the same distance from one another. Sanjin, I mentioned earlier, Sanjin Delilac has been on Nigel Baines' bumper since the beginning. We talk about strenuous racing. Nigel Baines has got to be extremely focused right now. I don't know about you, Kane, but when I'm driving in a race and I have somebody on my tail like that, even for 5 or more laps, it really weighs on you. And I mean, here we are on lap 14, and Sanjin has been no further than a car length back from Nigel this entire race. That's huge.
Yeah, Sanjin is
oh, and we see Nigel get loose side by side right now. Is Sanjin Nigel able to hold the position for a second?
Side by side, but Sanjin's
loose, and Nigel able to hold on to the position. Scary moment right there for Nigel Baines, and does a fantastic job of saving it and saving the position.
Yeah, Sanjin also got loose there. That was definitely quite scary, as Sanjin also got so loose coming out of that turn. He nearly wound up into the side of Nigel, but both drivers able to regain control of their cars and are back to racing.
Man, a good job at racing at that. That was really impressive. Even on camera, if you don't realize how crucial that was to being a disaster, just believe me when I say it was close.
That was nearly devastational.
Nice order choice, my friend. Very nice there. I love it. And going back out, I do want to say we have our leader in pit road right now. He's heading towards his pit stall. We'll have to get the timer on it, as we will have a new leader. Sam Collins is our new leader, yeah, Sam Collins is our new leader, and Nigel Baines will move into second as Chad Chastain has pulled into the pits. Also, Bo Cattell has pit as well.
Yeah, lots of action in pit lane, as we're seeing lots of drivers pull in. Dave Oliver's also chose to pit. Graham Fylan's in the pits now. So we're seeing a varying pit times. Sanjin Delilac and Bo Cattell, nearly identical pit times. Chad Chastain's taking an extra 3 seconds in the pits, and we saw that last week where the pit going into the pits really hurt Chad, and it's looking like he had some room to spare, but definitely not the fastest pit stop for Chad Chastain.
We'll have to see how that gap is. It's nothing when you look at it now. Instead of having that 3 second gap, you have Bo Cattell literally on the back bumper of our leader, or excuse me, our previous leader, Chad Chastain. And I wanted to point something out, Kane. I got to give a shout out to Marlon McMullen for nailing the pits. He said we'd see our first pits at lap 15, and sure enough, that's when we saw him on the end of 14 starting lap 15. That's incredible.
Well, you know, Marlon McMullen, last year's champion, you know, current reigning champion, I think he has definitely proven that he knows what he's talking about, and that just kind of solidifies it, that he definitely knows what's going on.
A lot of drivers in the pits right now. Sammy Collins in the pits. He's leaving right now. Right behind him is Nigel Baines. Nigel's still in his stall. Behind Nigel Baines is going to be Jason Scandalarola, and Nigel's still in the pits. He is stuck.
Yeah, Scandalero was able to get out and around, as Nigel is still there. Nigel, 35 seconds. He must have got a speeding penalty on his way in.
Man, that is really, really crucial for Nigel Baines, and the SDC Motorsport driver is going to have to make that up on the track. That's got to be, I don't want to say my own word there, but I will. That was devastational time-wise. We'll have to see if he can make that up.
Back at the front, Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell. Chad had pulled away just a little bit ahead of Bo Cattell, but now Bo is catching right back up.
We have a new leader, and it's Michael Schraer, but only momentarily, as he only leads one lap. He does pull in pit road, and that should give us a new leader, and that new leader is the number 12 car of the SDC Motorsport driver, Marty Carroll, and he has Michael Fulcher is in second right there behind him, about 4 car lengths behind, and maybe 5 car lengths. But yeah, Marty out in the lead. Is good to see Marty lead a lap after a rough start to the season. And we talked about drivers bouncing back here in this week 2, and that's what we see right now. I know he hadn't made his pit stop yet, but it is good to see him after a rough week lead a lap here.
Yeah, even leading a lap in these races can be tough. So getting to the front and leading a lap for Marty Carroll.
Man, a top 10 in the V8 Supercar America Series is a feat in itself. So leading a lap is really tough. So big deal right there for Marty Carroll right now. And his teammate Nigel Baines is sitting behind Dave Oliver right now. And if I looked at the positions to how they were earlier, he was just in front of Sanjin Delilac, folks. And Sanjin's back in his spot of 5th place. So that means that that pit stop cost Nigel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. That's really crucial. Hopefully Nigel can make that up. He's a fast driver, so we should keep an eye on Nigel to see if he can pass those guys. Marty still elects to stay out and lead the race another lap. I told you he's a tire saver, and he could be one of the last cars we see pit as long as everything stays clean for him.
You know, one of my favorite battles on the track right now has got to be between Dave Oliver, I keep doing that, Sam Collins and Sanjin Delilac. Both these drivers are just such clean drivers that try so hard to be good, clean, technical drivers. And so this is definitely my favorite battle on the track, because once these guys get a little closer, you'll really be able to see how clean of drivers these guys are.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that last week, and we'll keep an eye on this battle right now as you see Sammy Collins trying to catch up there to Sanjin, and he's closing that gap slowly but surely. And man, I tell you what, every time I go into a practice session on the iRacing server, I always see Sanjin Delilac, and it just shows how much that guy just gets in there and practices week in and week out. And look how much it shows, Kane. Up in the 5th position, he's always fighting up near the top, and that shows. Ooh, he gets the tire off into the grass there, but no harm done. No time lost there for the number 5 car of Sanjin Delilac.
Well, anytime you ask any of these guys what it takes to be fast and to compete with the fastest of these guys, the main thing that they always say, the number one thing, is track time. They say it don't, the setup is not going to make you the fastest, just track time. The setup can make you a little faster if you're already one of the fastest guys, but what you really need to learn and to get faster, you can even do it with the base setup, is just get track time. And that's what Sanjin does. He is on the track a lot getting that practice, and it shows.
It really does. And something else that we got to look at right now is out in front, Marty Carroll still elected to stay out another lap, and right behind him though, Michael Fulcher starting to close the gap there and get a little closer to our current leader, Marty Carroll. Both of these cars are on old tires and have not made their pit stop yet, and so they're both still due for a pit, but starting to get closer there. Marty pulled away a little earlier, and then Michael at the beginning of this lap was really close. Now we're seeing Marty start to pull away again. And also keep in mind, if you look behind Michael Fulcher, notice the Can-Am Motorsport car coming in pretty hot back there. Chad Chastain coming up in 3rd. So Marty finally goes into the pit stop there with Michael Fulcher, and let's keep an eye on these pit stops as they're going to be huge. Talk about a battle. These two are battling on the track and now battling in the pits. Both drivers are there. The pit crews are fixing them up, new tires, gas, and it'll be fun to see who wins the race off of pit road. It'll also be fun to see where they come out. Here comes Marty. He gets the initial jump. He will win the race off of pit road, and he will have about a 5-second gap.
Yeah, he gained a couple seconds there on Fulcher, and Fulcher took an extra couple seconds in the pit stall, but then the outlap as well cost him just a little bit more time, so Marty Carroll's definitely gained some time on him.
And look who's behind Marty Carroll right now. It's teammate Nigel Baines, and these two are teammates. They could somehow work together and try to work their way back up the field. It's going to be tough, but we've seen teammates work hard before together. Also, I noticed earlier we had both kamikaze drivers, Michael Fulcher, were together a moment ago, and it did help for a moment there. And it'll be interesting to see how they're doing. The other kamikaze driver is Mark Anderson right there. He's currently in the 6th position trying to get around Michael Schreier. That's a great little battle for 5th position as well, Kane.
Yeah, he's tucked in right up in there, right at the bumper, just waiting for any kind of opportunity to make his move.
Oh man, back to your battle, Kane. Sanjin to Lilac and Sam Collins. The battle starting to heat up. Starting a new lap. A great jump right there for Sanjin to Lilac to get a little breathing room. But here comes Sam. Here on this tight turn. And we saw a little back end slide there on the Volvo. Another little slide. This is fun. Little power sliding through the turns. I love what I'm seeing. Good close racing at its best here on lap 21.
Those two turns there, they're definitely probably the most difficult to find grip on, and it's definitely showing as these cars are doing a lot of sliding around those turns.
Yeah, especially because they have on some new tires. That's something. They got on the new tires, and it may just be them, but they should be warmed up by now.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 full laps, and they should be up to temperature for sure. So they should be starting to really get as much grip as they're going to get, I would think. But those 2 turns, they just lack grip anyway.
And look who's back out in front. It's your race leader again. It is Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports Ford Falcon, doing just a really good job of breaking away from Bo Cattell. He's got almost a 4-second lead over Bo, but Bo's doing a really good job. Has no threat behind him, as he has a little over about a 13-second lead almost over Sanjin to Lilac back in 3rd place. So Bo Cattell is in a great spot right now, just to sit and wait. Just run his race, see what happens with Chad up front. And, 2nd place is killer. I know that racers, I know that's taboo when you talk about, second's the first loser. But when you're talking about a points championship, Bo finishing 2nd 2 weeks in a row would be pretty huge. Yeah,
and in a series like V8 Supercars Americas, man, I just can't see that old quote being very significant, because, man, to finish 2nd place in this series, that's tough. It's definitely accomplishing something.
It is. It truly is. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. Here we are, guys, just over halfway in the race, about to start lap number 23. Your leader is Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsport Ford Falcon, still holding out the lead, and a great job by Mr. Chad Chastain back in 2nd place. It is the Tag Pest Management Ford Falcon, and Bo Cattell back in 3rd. Sanjin to Lilac in the Altitude Brighton Ford. He is back in 3rd with Sammy Collins holding 4th down closely. Behind him, Michael Schreier in the Darrell Lee Ford. He's back in 5th place with Mark Anderson in the KRT back in 6th. That Kamikaze Race Team cars is coming up in a hurry. And then back in 7th, we have the Cosmo Lighting car of Dave Oliver. Back in 8th, Marty Carroll in the Spotty Dog Cake, or also known as Team SDC, back in 8th. His teammate in the SDC Falcon as well, Nigel Baines, back in 9th, and has some company as the number 10 car of Michael Fulcher holds on to the top 10. Another Kamikaze teammate right there, Kane. Jason Scandolera is back in the 11th position in the Packaging and More machine. Bones filling in the high-powered racing is rocking the 12th position right now, doing a good job. And it's kind of been quiet today, but Michael Yo is back in the 13th position in the Finn car Ford. And Tony Klusterman in the NQR Never Quit Racing Ford is back in 14th. The first car and just went off, currently not on the track, is teammate of Sandra the Lilac, Dale Niche, is back in 15th. Something just happened to Dale, because he's only just went a lap down.
Yeah, I
so
don't
I'm
know.
gonna see if I
check
can
the events and see if it happens to show him listed there.
Oh, I see. Rewinding, I just see Carnage. Hold on. And let me get a good camera view. And it happened, Kane, when he was on his 22nd lap. He looked to go into a runoff area. And I don't know what he's doing. He starts doing a burnout or something. It makes no sense. I don't know what happened. He literally drove off the track and started doing a small, slow burnout, and then went to pit road, and then is out of the race now.
Interesting. I don't know. We've seen several troubles here lately with people losing monitors and their monitors going black on them, and different little technical problems. He very likely could have had a technical snafu. I know I've had a couple already tonight, so.
Let's go look back at Sanjay Delilah and Sam Collins battling it out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just didn't know what in the world was going on. And oh man, Sanjay gets into the sand a little bit side by side going into the turn. Sam Collins has the advantage on the inside. He will make the pass for position. We have a new third place car. It is the number 5. Excuse me, not the number 5. It's the number 6 of Sam Collins. He uses the runoff area. Listen to me, man. I get so excited sometimes when these two battle it out. Sam Collins makes the move and now has the advantage over Sanjay Delilah. What a great battle going on right there. And that's your favorite battle right there, Kane. And they're showing us why, man. That right there is impressive. A beautiful move put on. And a great job. We should see Sanjay Delilah not lay down, though. He will be fighting back real soon. We got a good battle behind them as well, Kane. Looking back at Michael Schreier in the Darrell Leaf Ford, he's got his hands full with Mark Anderson, one of the Kamikaze racers, and he's coming up close as well. They got good pace on them. Last lap for Mark Anderson, a 128.19. Michael Schreier right in front of him ran a 128.32, so Mark Anderson slightly faster at the moment, not by much.
Having a great race tonight. You know, he's had a couple bad luck races, but tonight he's definitely on it, and he's definitely competing.
Let's go back and remember about Nigel Baines earlier with the crucial pit stop. And he's currently in 9th position. He's trying to catch up to teammate Marty Carroll, who's in 8th position. Marty's trying to catch up to Dave Oliver. All three of those drivers just got no worries around them, trying to close the gap in between them. It's going to be really tough at this point. Still a lot of racing left, Kane. We're on lap number 26 of 38 here today at Brands Hatch. For those of you that may have just joined us, I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft with me. The V8's online. We're happy to be here. And got Chad Chastain out in front. And we do want to let you know one more time, we're brought to you by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and of course the all great V8's Online Superstore, and presented to you in glorious HD. And kind of just a little midway point there, Kane. I want to go cut back to the race before we get too excited here with the big finish that should start developing soon. Somebody's going to have to start getting aggressive and it's going to happen soon. Right now, Sam Collins starting to break away a little bit from Sanjin Delilac there. And Sam Collins, you know, he's happy to have his third place position back. He held it early in the race, and now he fought hard to get it back. Sanjin Delilac has been extremely impressive tonight as well. And like you mentioned earlier, I'm impressed with Michael Schraer and Mark Anderson. Both of these guys still going at it as well, battling for the 5th position.
Yeah, we've seen Michael Schraer have several really great races in the Americas Series. He's definitely proven that he's a good fast driver here, and I'm glad to see him back this season, and anxious to see what we see from him this season.
Now I'm excited. We have, you know, we're 26 laps into the race, or excuse me, 27 laps into the race, and we already have, or excuse me, only have one person not on the lead lap. We had 15 cars in the race tonight, 14 still on the lead lap. Very impressive. Although our leader Chad Chastain is starting to creep up there on 14th place driver Tony Klusterman. Tony's had a good race tonight too, and he started in the very back of the field, Kane, and he's kept it clean and everything.
On board now with Michael Fulcher in the 10th position, chasing down Nigel Baines.
And I love our onboard views. You guys know that as we look on board with Michael Fulcher. Looking ahead right now as we go into the final turn here. It's so easy to get loose there. Remember back to what Marlon McMullen was telling us in his lap around. And then look ahead at the gap in between these 3 cars. It's going to be really tough for Michael Fulcher, but he can do it. He's shown that he can get up here and drive with the best of them. But 2 tough drivers in front of him with Nigel Baines and then Marty Carroll. Look at this turn right here. Such an incredibly tough turn. Very tricky. Then you're getting back on the accelerator, then back into the brakes. Hard left turn, using the runoff area of the curb, and then boom, back on the gas, into another crazy left-hander. This track is just so busy. Look at the wheels always moving constantly.
Nigel is catching up to Martin Carroll. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I thought you were.
That's all right, buddy. No,
but,
go right ahead.
He's catching up 1.4 now. 1.4 gap to Marty. Back up front, Chad Chastain has managed to pull even further ahead of Bocatel, a 5.9 second gap ahead of Bocatel. Chad getting a little wide there, almost scared me. I thought he might be going off track, but just went into a little overrun areas, so that it's got a little bit more grip out there, it seems like, so I always tend to run a little wide there as well.
And of course, Chad Chastain still out in front, holding down the lead. Looking really good here in the Can-Am Motorsport Ford Falcon. Bo Cattell trying to come up in the tag. Pest Control Ford Falcon back in third. Sam Collins has broken away from Sanjin Delilac. He's got a nice little lead over Sanjin. Sanjin Delilac will have some company at some point maybe if Michael Schraer can keep the current pace, and that'll be a fun battle. You know, Michael Schraer and Mark Anderson had a nice thing going for a little while, but Michael Schraer has broken away a little bit. Still hope for Mark Anderson. This is a killer job for him tonight in 6th position. Of course, back in 7th, Dave Oliver coming up in 7th position. Marty Carroll is in 8th, and you mentioned just a moment ago, closing in fast is Nigel Baines. We're going to have to stay here and watch this battle as Nigel is on the bumper of Marty Carroll. These two are teammates, but I've seen them battle once or twice, and it'll be fun once they do. We'll pop back there in just a second. Michael Fulcher is in 10th with Jason Scandalera in 11th. Graham Bones filling in the 12th position in the HPR Ford with Michael Yo back in 13th. And, of course, Tony Klusterman in 14th. And we mentioned earlier, guys, Dale Niche has left the race. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened. And hopefully, you know, everything's all right with his connect. You know, I don't know if it was a connection issue or something else, but I'm sure we'll find out in the news come. I want to give a shout out, Kane. I want to give a shout out. I don't give a whole lot of shout outs all the time, but I do want to give out a big shout out to Paul Slavonic. If you guys have ever had a chance to meet Paul, super great guy. He writes just the greatest articles for in racing news, and he obviously does the articles on the V8 Supercar America series. And if you didn't get a chance to read his article about the opening week in the V8 Supercar season, V8 Supercar America season, please go check it out at In Racing News. Killer job for Paul. Just happy to have him covering the V8 Supercar America Series 2. So now, you know, we have the live broadcast every week here on V8's Online for the V8 Supercar America Series, as well as the coverage by In Racing News. So that's just a big shout out to Paul. Thanks for covering this wonderful series for us. And now we're back out to the race. Just wanted to throw out a shout out for Paul. I thought he deserved it for that great article.
Oh, definitely. Both of them have been fantastic. He's done one for the end of last season, and kind of a promo for this season coming up, and then he did a post race for last week, and both articles were very, very well written.
Man, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, buddy, but we got a side-by-side action right now. Sanjin Delilah and Michael Schrayer really going side-by-side. Now we see Michael Schrayer has to ease off. Very close action. Let's see if Michael Schrayer tries it again. He does have the bonnet bent up just a hair. He's going to look to the inside. He gets a little loose, has to ease off there. Thought he was going to make a run there on Sanjin, is not going to be able to. Here he is in the number 4 car, Michael Schrayer, trying to find some room. He really wants to move up into the 4th position to be right there ahead of Sanjin Delilah. This is going to be the battle of the night. I have a feeling, guys, keep your eyes peeled. I saw him creeping up earlier, and I said, if when he gets up there, it's going to happen, and here it is. Christmas came early, fellas. We got us a race. And look at Sanjin Delilah. Gets a killer run there from the start-finish line going into turn 1. Beautifully done. He uses every bit of the exit curve there and actually catches a little bit of sand, but it doesn't seem to slow him down too much. But we still got a battle going as Michael Schrayer. We know Michael Schrayer's fast. We've seen it time and time again. And here he is battling with the super fast Sanjin Delilah there. What a great battle, Kane. Keep an eye on that.
Let's go on board with Michael Schrayer as he's trying to catch back up to Sanjin Delilah.
Oh, my favorite. Every time we get to go on board, I get excited as we look ahead. On the onboard camera, we get a beautiful view of Sanjin Delilah's car right there, and we get to see him coming around hugging the right-hander, uses all the little bit of the exit curve that's available there, turning into this right-hander, uses all of the curve, even catches a little bit of grass there where the grass is worn down. It's a great place to use the race line to your advantage. See how hard it is to find a place to pass. He comes out wide, tries to find a look inside. He tucks all the way in, but has to touch the brakes early not to hit Sanjin. That's why it's so tough to pass here. If if you can't use the race line, it's just too hard. You really have to have some speed. This is probably the most likely place to get a pass. And let's see if he gets down on the inside. Here you see right now trying to find a nose in. Will he find one? No. Can't get quite enough speed. He's still looking to the inside. Will he have the advantage going into turn 1 or turn 2? No, he will not. And whoa, he gets the pass right there as Sanjin Delilah went wide going into turn 2. And oh, now with a touch on the back end, and here comes Sanjin Delilah. We got trouble on the track. 3 cars involved. Michael Fulcher able to break away. Good Lord, we about had another accident right there, folks. Dave Oliver slides by. Michael Schrayer, Sanjin Delilah, both cars involved. Here comes Nigel Baines. coming up side by side right now with Sanjay Delilah, Marty Will. Nigel about spun around. Good Lord, help me out, Kane. We got side by side racing coming in here, and this is incredible. Nigel Baines. Hold on, we man, we got some killer racing right now. Marty Carroll now trying to make the move around Sanjay Delilah. Sanjay almost gets turned sideways for a second. That car has some damage on it. I don't know how bad it is or how hard it is to keep that thing stable, but it has some serious stagger right now. Here comes Marty Carroll trying to find some room to make the pass. That was just an incredible moment. We had side-by-side racing going into the turn. We had 3 different advantage swaps, Kane. It was just incredible racing. Now going down into the front stretch here at Brands Hatch. Will Marty Carroll be able to make the pass? He's going to look down on the inside, tries to find it an advantage. I don't think he'll be able to. He has no draft help to get a little extra speed boost. As you see Sanjay does, he gets the advantage and almost takes him up to Nigel Baines' bumper. Here you see him after turn 1 on the entrance to turn 2. All 4 cars lined up bumper to bumper. Going into turn 3, this is where all the action and carnage happened last night. Look at Sanjay Delilah go to the inside. Will he get the advantage? He gets off road for a second, and it causes him to lose some speed. Now Marty Carroll has the advantage on the inside. On the next turn, he'll make it. Look at this. Incredible.
Marty has to tuck back in behind Sanjay and hope to get another run coming down this, I guess what you call the back stretch.
That's exactly what I'm going to call it. With my oval past, everything's a front stretch or a back stretch with me. Us oval guys, we have turns and back stretches. I'm learning though, I'm learning. And look at Sanjay Delilah, man. This guy, I'm here to tell you, with all that happened there to his car, and for him to still be able to hold down the 8th place position is incredible. He has 2 insanely fast guys behind him in Michael Fulcher and Marty Carroll. Nigel Baines was able to get back. Remember earlier in the race, guys, Nigel Baines involved in that super long pit stop. It threw him literally from 4th place all the way back to, what, 10th?
Yeah,
and now,
I think so.
Now he's moved up into 7th position. Michael Fulcher trying to get a little music sung. He goes to the inside trying to find a little spot on Marty. Oh, close moment right there as he almost got into the back quarter panel of Marty Carroll. Michael Fulcher says he wants to get up there and have a little showtime too in the Kamikaze Race Team Ford Falcon. Watch out for this guy as well. Marty Carroll is trying to catch back up to Sanjay Delilah. I'm loving this 3-way battle, folks, for 8th place. And Kane, we only have 3 laps left. We're on lap 35 of 38. This is insanely, this is the time. The time is now. Chad Chastain over a 10-second lead. He's passing Michael Yo right now. Bo Cattell back in 2nd place. Sam Collins currently in 3rd. Mark Anderson's holding 4th down with Dave Oliver rounding out the top 5. Michael Schrager currently in 6th place with Nigel Baines back in 7th. The battle, of course, with Sanjay Delilah in 8th and Marty Carroll in 9th. Then next we have Michael Fulcher. Wait a minute, Sanjay Delilah has fallen back. He has trouble and he is off the track, Kane. He is in the wall. We're going to have to get a race call replay on that. Unfortunate for Sanjay Delilah as he is involved in another one. And let me know when the replay gets started. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
All right, as we go to the race call replay, we got Sanjay just straight off the track. Yeah.
He just straight up lost it. That hurts for Sanjay. I am disgusted to see that. Dadgummit, Sanjay. I hate that.
That's definitely a heartbreaker. He just going a little too hot in there and locks it up and off the track he goes. That's a heartbreaker.
Dadgummit, I hate to see that from Sanjay. That really, really hurts. I hate that. He had such a great race going. The initial incident and then that one, that's tough. Back out on the track, though, I was talking, and here we have Marty Carroll up into the 8th position. Michael Fulcher fighting in 9th. He's trying to get around Marty Carroll at all costs. Ahead of Marty Carroll, Nigel Baines. But I'm going to go backwards and rename some of the guys in the race. Of course, I just mentioned Michael Fulcher in 9th. Rounding out our top 10 is Jason Scandalera, and he's still cruising along. He's got real loose there for a minute, and he's all by himself. He may have some damage because this car got really loose. Back in 11th is Sanjin Delilac. Sanjin, we know he's crabbing a little bit coming down the straightaway. That car has got some damage as well. As we've just seen, Graham Bones Filland is back in 12th in the HPR Ford Falcon. Michael Yo back in 13th, and Tony Klusterman in 14th. Of course, Dale Niche out of the race. Guys, we only have 2 laps left. We're on lap 36 of 38. Chad Chastain is cruising for a win here. Let's keep an eye on this great battle between Michael Fulcher and Marty Carroll. Right now, Marty has no worries. If he can keep the current gap he has, everything should be fine for him. He is in 8th place. No, he'd like to be a little bit higher. Michael Fulcher has the ability to make this pass within 2 laps, but it's going to be extremely tough to get around Marty Carroll. That's just a tough task anywhere, nonetheless here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, getting around on this track is definitely tough.
Keep your eyes on Chad Chastain. He is going to finish this race in just a moment. As he's coming downhill, heading into the right-hander, he will be finishing the race. The white flag has already been waved. The checkered is waving now. He'll be coming by to win this race as long as he can keep everything smooth through these last couple of turns. He's got a little lap traffic as that's Bones Filland in front of him. In the HPR Falcon, it's no worries, though, as he has over 11.5 second lead over second place driver Bo Cattell. As long as nothing crazy happens, he's only got 2 turns left in this race.
Definitely a beautiful run there for Chad Chastain.
And here he is, guys, winning week number 2. There you have it, Mr. Chad Chastain winning race number 2 here at Brands Hatch, man. There you go, Kane. That was, an outstanding job there by Chad Chastain. Good job. Good win for Can-Am right there. And Chad, I know he's happy to get that. Bo Cattell back in 2nd. He finishes 2nd. A great race for Bo Cattell. Sammy Collins comes across in 3rd. Mark Anderson is now the next car that should cross in 4th place. And what a race for Mark Anderson.
Yeah, Mark's definitely done a great job today for sure.
You talked about it a little earlier, Kane. I mean, that is a killer job by him. Dave Oliver now side by side racing to the finish line with Michael Schreier. And Dave Oliver will... No, Michael Schreier gets him by 3/10. Michael Schreier rounds out the top 5. Dave Oliver will finish in 6th. Nigel Baines comes across in 7th. And Michael Fulcher finished ahead of Marty Carroll in 8th. Marty Carroll will finish 9th. Jason Scandarola will finish in 10th. Sanjin Delilac, after his troubles, is fixing to come across for 11th. Wow, Michael Fulcher at the end was able to pass Marty Carroll, Kane. Whoa,
yeah,
Sanjin's going to lose it. Oh, sorry. He made it across. Woof, scary. What a great race, man. Oh, sorry, Kane. Go right ahead, buddy. I thought Sanjin was going to lose it there.
Yeah, he's definitely showing his drifting skills, and he definitely has some.
Yeah, it's even better with a broke car, man. He can really get that thing around. There you see Graham Filland coming across in 12th. Back in 13th finishes Michael Yo and then Tony Klusterman. Of course, we'll read the official results here in just a moment. But my goodness, what a race, man. What a race by everybody here. Fantastic performance by all of the drivers here, Kane. That was super, super impressive.
Yeah, it was. I was definitely impressed with that whole thing. Chad Chastain got out in front. He had a race there with Bo Cattell for first couple laps, and Chad just spread his wings and just kind of flew away with it. And as he's proven to do a couple times in the past, if it's a track he feels comfortable with, he can just get in his groove and just drive away, and that's what he did here tonight.
Yeah, Chad Chastain deserved the race win tonight. He really showed why he deserved it too, with just the pure focus he had tonight. Flawless race by Chad Chastain. Also Bo Cattell as well. Bo just didn't quite have the same race pace Chad did, and it wasn't by much either. They were almost identical, but even with a slightly faster car Chad had, with 38 laps, it can make that 11-second gap seem huge, but really when you think about it, it's only a tiny bit time-wise difference. Actually, it ended up being 10 seconds there. 10.155 was the gap between first and second there. Sam Collins will finish in third officially. Mark Anderson, Kamikaze Racing Team driver, finishing in fourth, with Michael Schreier finishing in fifth. Sixth will go to Dave Oliver, and Nigel Baines of SDC Motorsports will finish in seventh place. Great job there by SDC Motorsports team. Michael Fulcher really impressed me, Kane, right there at the end to grab the 8th position. A really good job. He battled with Marty forever, Marty Carroll that is, and then took the win. Great job for the KRT Ford Falcon. Marty Carroll, of course, SDC racing car, finished in the 9th position. And how about Jason Scandalera from the Packaging and More Ford group there, finishing in 10th. Great top 10 for him tonight. Sanjin Delilac, after 2 incidences, still somehow finds a way to leave out of here with 11th. It could have been worse. Hated that for Sanjin. What a great drive for him today. Just to have, you know, his result does not show the type of race that he raced today, and that is so unfortunate. But he did finish in 11th. Graham Bones Filling of High Power Racing finishes in 12th, and a good race by Graham back there in 12th. Michael Yo finished in the 13th position in the FinCard Ford, and back in 13th. And of course Tony Klusterman rounded out the running field and finished in 14th. And then of course we talked about Dale Niche earlier. He finished 17 laps down in 15th, or actually a DNF for Dale Niche, as I don't know if it was connection issues, but something happened there, and it's very unfortunate for Dale Niche there. But that is how things finished up here at Brands Hatch, Kane. I was truly, truly impressed. I wonder if maybe we can get a couple guys in here for some interviews soon. Maybe we can just holler back at Marlon real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk with the reigning champ, Marlon McMullen. Marlon, it looks like Chad is doing a great job so far this season, and he may be the one that you need to worry about on this championship.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of race pace at the moment. I mean, I was watching him throughout that race then, and really dominant form by Chad. He's really picked up his game lately, and you know, I'm looking forward to getting back out there with him and seeing what I can do and see if I can have a few really good battles with him. But at the moment, he's really proving a point out there, so we'll see if he takes that little trophy off my hot little hands.
We'll let you fight for it though, buddy. And that's what's going to be so fun, Marlon, is the beauty of the whole thing is we get the drop weeks. So really and truthfully, you know, it's still anybody's championship right now. It really is. It's still up in the air, and it's still as much your championship as anybody's right now. It just does up the pressure a little bit to perform. You don't quite have the cushion as we did before with week one. That'll use up one of the drop weeks, I'm sure. And then, but I know we'll see you back to top form, and can't wait to see it, buddy.
Oh, absolutely, JD. I mean, you know, not the best start of the season, but you know, it spurs me on more motivationally wise to come back and do a better job in the next few weeks. And you know, there's a couple of tracks coming up that I really love. Watkins Glen's not really a sensational track for me next week, but going from there on up to Phillip Island, should hopefully get a few strong results and see if I can make up for the last couple of shockers, I guess.
Yeah, the way the season runs out is, of course, we had Brands Hatch today, Watkins Glen next week, and then we head off to my hometown at Road Atlanta with week 4. And then we'll go back to where we finished the season and where you claimed your championship in week 5 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And, of course, you know what week 6 is, Mount Panorama. Good Lord, can't even wait for that. And then we go off to another great track I can't wait for, Marlin Infineon Raceway. One of my favorites, really and truly. I love that track. I love it in the V8 because I love the way you can hop the curbs there. It's just really fun. May not even be the fastest way around, buddy, but it sure is fun to drive. But we really look forward to seeing you drive here. I hope that the rest of the season favors you after Watkins Glen, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we'll put our heads down and thumbs up, I guess, and we'll bounce back and see what we can see if we can put a little bit of a dent into Chad's championship lead just about now, I think.
That's it, buddy. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Marlon, and having a chat with us, buddy. That is Marlon McMullen, everybody. And,
thank you, guys.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. And now I want to get in here tonight's winner and get over here and get a little talk with the victor of the race tonight. What an impressive victory for Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsport Ford. Good job, Chad. What a killer race tonight, bud.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. It was nerve-wracking there for a while. I mean, even a smooth lap, is hairy.
Yeah, we know it's one of the things we talked about with the race tonight is the extreme amount of focus and just the mental strain it can have on the race here at Brands Hatch. 38 laps, and each one of these laps are extremely busy in the cockpit. You're not just relaxing; that wheel has got to be hot from moving so much. An incredible race tonight, Chad.
Thanks a lot. Bo pushed me. I mean, once we got through those pit stops, I looked in my mirror and there was the ANZ car, big and live right behind me. But I just hit my marks and just tried to run smooth laps, and it worked out for me.
Wonderful, buddy. And I'm really excited to see that, Chad. And, next week, I hate to even close out on a win. I know we want to enjoy your win here, but I got to pull it up. You had a win. We go off to Watkins Glen next week, buddy, and that's where you claimed a humongous, probably one of the biggest victory margins we've seen in this series last year. You literally dominated the field at Watkins Glen. I know you got to be excited to be heading back to the Glen next week.
Yeah, I do. I typically have some good pace there, but you just never can tell. I'm just trying to take it one race at a time here.
And that's the best way to do it, buddy. I'm glad to hear you say that. And, of course, we just really do look forward to seeing you there, though. It was truly fun to watch last season. And speaking of Bo Cattell, it looks like he's here to talk with us as well. And you guys were obviously dominating the front of the field all race long. And, Bo, good to have you here, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, buddy. Thanks for putting on such a great race tonight. I know we watched for a long time. I thought you might have a chance there to catch Chad, but in the end, he just kind of broke away a little too far there.
Yeah, my car was pretty good on the cold tyres, but as soon as they started to heat up, Chad just drove off. So it was a credit to Chad. Thought with my strategy, it might give me a chance to come out in front and just try and hold him back, but no, not quite.
Well, it's a very good effort, Bo. And me and Kane were talking just a little earlier in the broadcast about how happy we are here to have you in the Americas Series. You're definitely not a new name to the V8 Supercar, but a newer name to the V8's Americas Series, and really, really lighting up the series with excitement. You're definitely a threat to contend for this title. And we're going into Watkins Glen next week, and a lot of guys are extremely fast there, including Chad. Didn't know if that is going to be a success for you, or is it going to be a challenge going into Watkins Glen? It favors some drivers, and some it is a challenge for.
Yeah, no, I love Watkins Glen, so looking forward to that one. And with the draft, it should make for some pretty good racing. So hopefully I can be right behind Chad, because I've got to stop him winning sometime.
That you just made my day, because hearing that that it's a fast track for you. We already seen Chad run there. I told him a minute ago, I think right as you were coming into the interview session there, Bo, that he literally dominated the race there last season, and we got to have somebody compete with him at Watkins this season. So if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's got to be Bo Cattell. So hopefully we'll get to see a fantastic race next week, Bo. Congratulations on another second place finish, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully we can put on a bit of a show next week.
Well, look forward to it, and that is Bo Cattell, everybody. Good job, my friend, and always a pleasure talking to Bo. And next I want to get in here one of the SDC motorsport drivers and a good friend of mine, Nigel Baines. Nigel, how you doing, friend?
Oh, pretty good, JD. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great, buddy. It's always a pleasure. We got to saw an outstanding race out front there from Bo Cattell, and of course the winning driver, Chad Chastain there, were just extremely fast tonight. And then, of course, we saw you, Nigel. You were running up in the 4th position for quite some time. Had a great battle with Sam there for a while, and then a couple other good battles. But we saw you have a little incident there in the pits. What caused you to have such a long pit stop?
To be honest, guys, I wish I could tell you. I can only assume I picked up a penalty somewhere. It never came up on screen. It certainly wasn't for speeding into pit road. But it dropped me after about 16, and I sat there for about 16 for some reason. In gear, revving, just wouldn't drive. So I don't know if it was a glitch in iRacing, but I was pretty frustrated to say the least. So.
Yeah, I bet, because Kane and myself, we both couldn't figure out. We thought maybe it was some kind of penalty, maybe speeding into pit road or something, but we couldn't see it. And it was really interesting because we couldn't figure out what caused the holdup in the pits. So that is very interesting and a tough break because you were extremely fast tonight, Nigel, and I hate that happened for you, buddy. But all in all, not all is lost. You ended up fighting back and, walked out of here with the top 10. Not too bad as you walk out in 7th. So that'll give you quite a few points there. I know it was your home track tonight, and always want to perform well at the home track, and taking away the unfortunate pit stop, you had a fantastic race, buddy, and deserve a big pat on the back.
Yeah, I appreciate the words there, guys. I did have pretty good pace. I was pretty happy with it, and running bumper to bumper with Sam and Sanjin early on, and yeah, it was going to be a case of see where we came out after the pit, and unfortunately, I just saw everybody go past me. Like I say, I don't know what happened. I had one incident all race, and that actually came later in the race. So yeah, just a strange one, but it was a fun race and fun trying to battle back through. Quick apology to Sanjin. I know he had a bit of an incident there with Michael, I believe, and I kind of pounced on the opportunity, but we were side by side and we rubbed doors a little bit. So if I caused him any damage, I apologize there. But, just good close racing.
Oh, it was fantastic. I think that Sanjin definitely understood that. I don't think he was worried with that at all. That was one of the most exciting parts of the race. Man, that was so exciting. Side-by-side racing is intense no matter how you look at it. But thanks for talking with us, Nigel. We'll be at Watkins Glen next week. Always one of my favorites to watch. And look forward to seeing you there, buddy.
Yeah, sadly, I'll have to leave that one to Marty. I won't be able to make the Americas race there next week, so we'll have to miss that one, but come back strong for the following week there. I just want to say Marty was hoping to drop in, but he had to run, guys, so his apologies there.
No worries, buddy, and best of luck to you and the rest of the SDC Motorsport team, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Absolutely, and that is Nigel Baines, everybody, driver of the number 36 SDC Motorsports Ford Falcon. And next I want to see if I can get in here Mr. Bones filling Graham, you there, buddy?
Hey, how you going, boys?
There he is. I knew we could get a hold of him. One of the high-power racing Ford drivers, Mr. Graham Bones filling, and you had a good race tonight. Finished in the 12th position, just outside of a top 10. And all in all, a pretty good race. There's some tough talent on the track tonight there.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with where I finished, but I think it was because someone else fell off the track and a couple of battles here and there. But yeah, no, this being this top split with it so much talent, it's pretty daunting when you're sitting at the back of the field there going, wonder how many times I'm going to get lapped. And Chad come up behind me. I think he was 3 seconds behind on the last lap.
Well,
and he's right up behind me, and I'm going, and then I could see him back off, and I went, thanks, Chad. He let me finish the race.
I got to give you the utmost respect, though, to literally everyone. I'll tell Tony Klusterman the same thing. We literally went we had 15 cars start the race, and literally 14 cars stayed on the lead lap through, I think, 28 laps. That's 25 to 28. That's very, very impressive, and that was awesome to see. So everybody deserved a big pat on the back for that as a whole.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, haven't seen what happened up, but yeah, we had some good side-by-side battles, and yeah, no touches. So yeah. No, it's a really good race.
Really good racing. I was very impressed. And we'll be at Watkins Glen next week, Bones. Hope to see you at Watkins Glen. It's one of my favorites. A lot of drafting, a lot of high-speed racing. Oh, I love it. And hopefully it's a good track for you, bud.
Oh, I love Watkins Glen, but the thing is, I think so do a lot of people, and it's you watch the lap times, they're all really close. It's any mistakes and you're down the field.
It is. It's so fun, and I'm telling everybody this. I love Chad to death, but I gotta, he dominated that race so much last season. Somebody's got to fight with him. Somebody's got to get him back. So best of luck to you next week, buddy.
Thanks. I seen Madison in qualifying before, and we might be able to sneak him in.
Oh Lord! Tell him to come on.
He's raced with us before. He raced with us in the early days, but he used to like to start at the back. So hopefully he'll come along next week. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, man, let him in. If Madison, if you're listening, buddy, come race with us next week. Come join the Americas Series for a week. It'll be fun. Anyways, buddy, always good talking to you, Bones. Take care, my brother. We'll see you next week at the Glen.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Cool.
Thanks a lot, buddy. And that is Bones Graham filling a good buddy of ours right there, and a fantastic performance on the track here. And I think I got one more to bring in, my good buddy Tony Klusterman of Never Quit Racing. Tony, how you doing tonight after a good performance at Brands Hatch?
Doing well, JD. How are you?
Oh, man, doing outstanding. Every time we get to see a race like this, you can't help but be doing good. I was so impressed with the entire field tonight. I was just telling Bones we had, I think it was about the 25th lap, because I can't remember if it was 28th or 24th or something like that. But at midway, a little over halfway through the race, we had 15 cars in the race, and literally 14 cars were on the lead lap. The only one that wasn't, unfortunately, was Dale Niche, and I think he had some kind of issue on the computer or something. He kind of disappeared on us, but that was such an impressive job for everybody, especially with how fast Chad was up front. So everybody deserves a pat on the back tonight, as well as clean, good racing. I mean, we saw side-by-side racing. Just a fantastic job tonight, Tony.
Yeah, it was a good race. Everybody behaved themselves. I was truly impressed by the first few laps. Everybody got themselves in the line, and they did a good job. And it was a little lonely at the back there for a bit until Chad came up and kept me company for a few laps, but that didn't last too long.
Yeah, I saw him coming up through there, and it was fun. We got some footage of you there, buddy. You did a good job tonight, Tony. We're proud of you. Stayed clean tonight and raced a good race. That's all you can ask for. We will be at the Glen next week, and I know you can't wait for the Glen, Tony. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think I might stick my nose up a little higher next week. That's a fun track, and I really enjoyed being there.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to go there. It's going to be a really good place. If we hadn't made the points race interesting, we will for sure by next week. So everybody's not going to want to miss it. But thanks so much for coming by and talking with us, Tony. Always a pleasure, buddy.
Thanks, JD. Take care.
Absolutely. And Kane, that was it, man. What a great race tonight. We mentioned it with the drivers, and it's
that's what I love about the V8 Supercar America series of versus such a great group of guys coming in here and chatting with us after the race. They put on a truly incredible performance tonight, and it definitely showed. Just a great way to lead into Watkins Glen next week. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, make sure that you tune in next Friday evening, 9:15 Eastern Time, to catch Watkins Glen. It's going to be one of the best races of the season. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be hard to top tonight's race, but I know Watkins Glen will somehow find a way to do it. It always is a great performance. And before we move on to close out the show, a few other things to bring up. Kane, any final thoughts about the race tonight or anything coming up in the near future, buddy?
Yeah, I got some thoughts. Trying to get Dave Oliver in here for a little post-race chat as well. I've had a little difficulty getting him the information, but
I see him up there. You want me to try to get him in real quick?
Yeah, let's talk to Dave.
Let's see if we can get Dave Oliver in here for a post-race interview. Dave, do you have a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, buddy. So glad we could get you in here. Kane was like, man, let's see if we can get Dave Oliver in here. I said, well, let's just do that. It's good to have you here on the show, buddy. I got to tell you what, Dave, the number 9 looked really good tonight, buddy. Finished up in the 6th place. How impressive was that for you to finish? Good job by the Cosmo Light and Ford Falcon, buddy. Looked really good.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Probably the car I felt was a little bit slower than yesterday's. I actually ended up winning yesterday's race, which was pretty cool. And first win for our new Synergy sim racing team. And yeah, I don't know, just with the faster guys in here in today's race, I just try to keep it consistent and just, I don't know, just see what would happen. But pretty much the other guys were just that little bit quicker, and I had a decent battle with Martin at the start. I did a very nice slide pass past him. I just looked at the replay, and it was very close. So at least we didn't touch. And then I think I gained 2 positions that lap, and pretty much after that it was just keep it clean. And I had my teammate Michael up in front, and after the pit stop had Mark, I think it was Mark Dean in front, Peter Dean, or so after that it was just wait, and then all of a sudden you had Michael and Sanjin get together, and TS was able to pick up 2 spots, and then pretty much it just ran like that to the end. And it is actually Michael Schreier's birthday today, so I did actually gift him back his spot, so happy birthday to him.
How awesome is that, man? Happy birthday, Michael Schreier. And he put out a fantastic performance on his birthday as well.
No, I know somebody else whose birthday's today. Well, today in Australia. See, it's not today here in America, but
it's Mr. Kane Craft's birthday is what it is. I was going to bring that up at the very end of the show because I was hoping we'd be closer to midnight here in America. But that's right, man. Happy birthday to my good friend and co-host here in the show, Kane Craft, buddy.
Yeah, it's only the 7th here in America, but in Australia, where a lot of our drivers are from, it is my birthday. So thank you very much. And happy birthday to Michael Schreier as well. I didn't know we shared a birthday.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's a cool person to share a birthday with. And I talked to all the other drivers as well, Dave. Before we move on there, buddy, I just wanted to say, of course, we will be at the Glen next week. It is an extremely challenging track as far as how close the times are. It's so fast and fun. Everybody loves it. But we did see last year Chad Chastain run away with the race last year. Just dominated the field. It was just so incredible. And somebody's got to be able to beat him this year. It's going to be so fun. How is the Glen going to be for you?
It's usually fairly decent. And I think this year we're back with the bus stop chicane again. So
yes,
it's going to be another, after 2 seasons of running it without, it's going to be interesting trying to, thread the car through the through the bus stop after not bypassing it for the last 2 seasons. So it should be pretty interesting. And then plus you've got Marlon coming back as well, so he'll have Chad in his sights as well. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
it should be pretty good. So
that's gonna be a blast to watch, and really looking forward to it. It's the Cup configuration. And then after that, we'll be heading to Road Atlanta, my home track, which always provides entertaining racing. And then we go back to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where we finished out the 2013 season. So a lot of good racing coming up, Dave Oliver. Can't wait to see how things turn out for you, buddy. Great job here at Brands Hatch this evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. And if I just quickly just thank a few sponsors. First, with our new team, which is Synergy Sim Racing and Cosmo Lighting, and Daryl Lee, which have come on board this season, so thank you for them. And also Packaging and More and LED Lighting, and all the guys in our team. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. We're always.
Oh, sorry, JD. I did.
No, it's your birthday. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, since it's my birthday, I did want to say, since you brought that up, if anybody, if you're watching, you want to give a shout out to your sponsors, go for it, man. I am very aware of how big of a role our sponsors plays in the success of not only this broadcast, but in the success of all you drivers. So go ahead and give a shout out to your sponsors anytime you've got the mic. Feel free.
That's right, man. These sponsors do so much for V8's online, V8 Supercars Americas, and a lot more throughout sim racing world. We thank all the sponsors, and definitely want to give them a shout out. So thanks a lot, Dave, for coming by and talking with us, buddy. It was truly a pleasure chatting with you. And now you know where to come talk to us after all the races. So look forward to hearing from you again soon, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thanks, JD, and take care.
All right, and that is Dave Oliver there. Always a pleasure as we get to see him on the track. It's a treat every time, bud. But yeah, Kane, what an impressive race here at Brands Hatch. I guess we're going to have to get ready to close things down here in a moment. Before we get off there, another happy birthday to you, buddy, as well as a happy birthday for,
Michael Schreier.
Michael.
Thank you. I couldn't get it out, Michael. I was going to say just Schreier. I couldn't get Michael out. We got a lot of Michaels. And but yeah, man, happy birthday to you guys. And final thought of the race on this one was Marlon McMullen coming back next week, folks. Get ready. This is going to be a blast. It's going to be so fun. So that's my final thought of Brands Hatch. Great racing. Come back next week.
Yeah, it was a good racing here at Brands Hatch, but I am very excited to be past Brands Hatch because it means Watkins Glen next week. And Watkins Glen, for the last couple seasons, has been the most exciting track of the season. And I can't wait. I know that there's always a higher car count at Watkins Glen, so we're going to see a high strength of field number next week. We're going to see a lot of the bigger drivers come in and race next week. So it's going to be a good one to watch next week. You're not going to want to miss next week's broadcast.
No, you're definitely not. And I'll tell you one more thing that Watkins Glen has a special meaning for this broadcast, because Watkins Glen was the very first V8 Supercar America's race that we broadcasted with V8's online officially, and so that will always have a special place in the history of this broadcast. So that's going to be really fun to go back there again.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the last time we were there. It was definitely provided great racing. We learned a lot. We're still learning a lot, but the more we do it, I think the better we get. We definitely had a couple technical problems tonight with the iRacing being a little difficult with me, but that's going to happen from time to time. But we're getting a little better at this stuff as time goes on, and hopefully making the broadcast better for the drivers, and they definitely deserve the best broadcast possible. So I hope we're getting to that point, and keep getting better every week. So I don't think it'll be too long, and we'll definitely have a broadcast here that everybody can be proud of.
That's it, buddy. I'm proud of us right now, and I'm going to wrap it up at that, buddy. Let's end on a positive note there. And we'll come back to you guys next week as we're going to have some serious racing in week number 3. Kane mentioned it just a moment ago. Big names always involved with Watkins Glen. Can't believe we're already heading there in week number 3. It's really big implications every season. It produces the best racing of the year. And then we're only 2 weeks removed from Watkins Glen. We'll be at Bathurst. Can you believe it? What an incredible time of the year it is. So exciting. Real racing will be starting up soon, and my goodness, we got the NIS series coming up that we'll be broadcasting on Wednesday nights as well. This is going to be just an incredible next couple of months. Can't wait to get things going. And as always, we enjoyed it. Happy birthday again to my good buddy Kane. Hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow, buddy. And until next week, join us next Friday night at 9:15 Eastern Time is the official race start. We always try to jump on about 8:45 Eastern Time to get a nice pre-race show. If you didn't get a chance to watch the pre-race show as soon as the conclusion of the broadcast, you'll be able to go back and watch it. Please check it out. It was a fantastic job. We really enjoyed having Marlon McMullen. We want to thank him for being on the show with us today. He did a fantastic job. And that's it for tonight, guys. We'll see you live next week here on V8's Online at Watkins Glen. Y'all have a good night.